Alright everybody, today's video is going to be kind of a continuation of one we did quite a while ago in the chapter where we did if statements. In that particular chapter, we created some if statements that essentially were basically a psychic guessing game. So I've got one set up right here for the most part. This should be pretty close to what we did before. Now, we've got, of course, I've got the using namespace. That lets me go out here and just do cout and cn without the std in front of it. I've got my little random seed value for my, basically for my random number generator. This right here just randomly uses essentially time, or whatever the system clock is for the most part. So it's a little different, but you can see that should randomize it pretty well enough. And then I've got, of course, my random generator, which should give me 0 to 9. I'm a guess. And then, of course, I ask the user to type in a 0 to 9, and we see if we're psychic or not. So I run it just to test it. There we go. And I go ahead and put in my guess. It'll tell me if I'm too high, too low, or got it right. I was too high. Now, that's all well and good. With this, I have exactly a 10% chance to basically get it right on the first, or any try, actually. Every time I run this, there's a 10% chance I get it right. Oh, whoops, 33. I don't know. I hit that a little too much there. There we go. So, look at that. Psychic. Just wanted to prove my psychic abilities there. Well, let's further enhance this program. We're going to add some loops to this. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to make this so we can actually use this too high, too low thing that I've added here to basically keep going until we get it correct. So I'm going to use a while loop for this. I've already got a guess and random number chosen. I've got my input and all this. So what I'm going to do is what I'd like to refer to as wrapping a loop around code that already exists. So I need to know where I need to put my loop. Now, if I put my loop here, and I say, for example, while guess does not equal random, that essentially means, and I put the brace down here. Now, nice, it tabbed everything over automatically for me. Now, if I do this, I will guess once, and it'll never allow me to guess again. So this thing will just basically just keep looping over and over and over again on that same wrong answer. So what I want to need to do is put this, let's say if I put it up here. Let's say it's there instead, right? Well, if I move it here, now I can guess as many times as I need. Now, there is something some people do tend to do here. What if I were to put this above the random? You know, I defined random, and inside the loop, the very first line, I run this line here. Well, if I do that, every time this loop runs, if this was above this, for example, it can't go because guess and random are down here. I'd have to define them above it. But if I did define these up here, and then I under here just kept all this the same, this would be a problem because every time this loop ran, it would pick a different number. So it would pick 5, and if I wrote in 1, it's going to tell me, you know, my guess is too low. So this thing would loop again, and let's say it picked 1 the next time. I typed in 2, it would tell me my guess is too high all of a sudden because the random number is different. So I want the random number to get chosen one time and only one time. That's why it's up here. I set my guess, and I set it to -1 because the answer is 0 through 9. So if it's -1, that means that I can't accidentally guess the right number automatically here. If I put 0, well, 0 is one of the possible outcomes. What if it picks 0? Well, if it does, then this loop just ends and never starts. So I just put in -1. It could be -1,000. It really doesn't matter. The other alternative I could do here is we could just, make a Boolean. Bool end equals, true or something like that, or false, let's say. And I could just say right here, I'm not going to write it out, but while, you know, uh, n does not equal true or something like that. And then inside this guess where it's correct, I could say, well, n equals true. And that's another way I could do this exact same thing. Everything would work exactly the same way. The loop is just written a little differently. So this is just another way I could do that. You can try dropping those in there, and you'll see it works the exact same way. Now, with this, I can do this and basically make it keep going for as long as I want. So if I run the code, I'll come in here and I'll just pick, oh, well, 6. My guess was too low. Okay, well, maybe 8. My guess is still too low. Oh, well, then that leaves 9. I guessed correctly. All right, well, it's not very exciting when we only have this many numbers. So let's increase the numbers a little bit. 100. And I'm also going to go ahead and add +1. Now what this will give you is 1 to 100. The percentage 100 gives you 0 to 99. This will give me 1 to 100. So basically, that'll pick 0 at the minimum. It's 1. If it picks 99, it's 100. So it gives me 1 to 100. So now I've got 100 numbers to choose from instead of 10. I don't have a 10% chance to choose it anymore. I have a 1% chance. Now, given all that, I'm going to make the declaration, and you'll soon find out. I can guess the correct answer within 7 guesses under 100 numbers. Now, you may believe me, or you may not. Most people are like, but I'll have a few people who are like, yeah, you're writing the program. I'm pretty sure I believe you. But no, I can guess it within 7 guesses. So just to show you, we'll come in here. Oh, and actually it's not 0 to 9. Let me fix that. I'm going to make sure that states what it's supposed to. Okay, now I'll run it properly, and I will show you 7 guesses. So, all right, I have to pick 1 to 100, so I'll pick a number. Okay, that's first guess. Second guess. Okay, so 2 guesses into my 7. All right, so that means I got 5 guesses left. All right, so let's see what we can do here. Okay, that's 3 guesses. Now, let's go with, okay, we got 4 guesses. All right, so 3 guesses left. Oh, wait, actually, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guesses. 2 guesses left. All right, we're getting close to the finale here. So let's see. If I can guess this within 2 guesses, then my prediction earlier will be correct. So let's see here. Now look at that. Guessed it in 6. Now, you may have noticed something here. I used a mathematical trick to do what I just did. And a lot of, well, programming, also even gambling, is mathematical tricks. So if you notice what happened, I put in 50, which is right in the center of 100. Now I have the output of whether I'm too high or too low. So I saw that I was too low, which means 1 to 49, or 1 to 50 in this case, is wrong. None of those 50 numbers is the right number, so I went up between 50 and 100, which is 75. I cut it in half. So it told me that's too high. So now I know between 50 and 75 is the correct answer. Or in this case, technically 51 and 75. So I cut that in half between those two. 62. That was too high, so I know it's 62 to 50. I cut that in half. 56, too low. And then it's 56 to 62 in this case. There's literally 3, 4, 5, 6, what is it, 4, 5, 6, 6 numbers difference. So I added 3 and just happened to get it right. If it told me I was too low or too high, well, then I just have, like, it's not 56, it'd be 57, 58. Somewhere in that 50 or 57, 58 would be the possible choices. Actually, I messed up a little bit by not putting in or not factoring in one number higher than these, so I was a little off. But basically, if you cut it in half every single time, well, you have 50 numbers to choose from, or 100, then 50, then 25 numbers to choose from. Then you get half of that, which is 12 or 13, then 6, then 3, and then the final one, you would have basically one number left to choose from. If I increase this to 1,000, I can still do the same thing. It would take me a few more guesses. 500, 250, 125. You basically kind of see how that works. So we added a loop to our previous code, and that allows us to make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more entertaining. But that is your psychic guessing games with loops.